What if the world is on the brink of another major war? What if global alliances are shifting in ways we have yet to understand? Is the threat from Russia growing stronger, and if so, how prepared are we? These are the pressing questions that demand our attention. In this video, we will discuss the Ukrainian crisis, the role of Europe and Canada, Trump's influence, and the future of NATO. We will analyze the key events, decisions, and consequences that define this conflict and its impact on the world order. The past week has significantly increased the risk of war with Russia in the next 3 to 5 years. In this discussion, we explore the implications of recent events with General Sir Richard Sheriff, former Deputy Supreme Allied Commander Europe. The world is watching closely as geopolitical tensions rise, and the balance of power shifts unpredictably. What does this mean for Ukraine, NATO, and the global security landscape? Recent talks between the US and Russia excluded Ukraine, raising concerns about Ukraine's position in international negotiations. The exclusion of Ukraine from key discussions leaves its leadership in a precarious position, unsure of its allies' commitment. Additionally, tensions between former President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky have further complicated matters. Trump's rhetoric, which aligns with Putin's stance, has fueled fears that the US may abandon Ukraine. As the war drags on, Ukraine faces increasing challenges on the battlefield and in diplomatic circles. The supply of Western weapons, which once seemed robust, is now facing logistical and political obstacles. Many in Kyiv worry that without sustained support, Ukraine could be forced into a disadvantageous peace agreement, potentially losing key territories and setting a dangerous precedent for future conflicts. Ukraine is now at a critical juncture. If military aid dwindles, it could tip the balance in Russia's favor. But Ukraine has shown resilience, adapting its strategies, utilizing drone warfare, and reinforcing defensive lines. Will this be enough? Or will history remember this as the moment Ukraine was left to fend for itself? With uncertainty around US support, Europe and Canada must step up. They need more than just verbal support, they require a concrete strategy to help Ukraine defeat Russia. This means increased military aid, defense spending, and a clear plan for security in Europe without relying on US backing. But are European nations truly prepared for this responsibility? So far, the European response has been mixed. While countries like Poland and the Baltic states have taken aggressive stances against Russia, others, like Germany and France, have been more hesitant. Economic concerns, political divisions, and a reliance on Russian energy have complicated decision-making. However, as the war continues, it is becoming clear that European unity will be crucial in determining the outcome of this conflict. Canada, too, has an important role to play. While its military capabilities are limited compared to the US, its financial and logistical support has been critical. The question remains: will Canada and Europe be willing to sustain long-term commitments, or will war fatigue lead to a withdrawal of support? A deeper question emerges: if Europe and Canada take the lead, does this signal the beginning of a new world order? One where the US is no longer the unquestioned guardian of democracy. This shift could redefine global alliances in ways we have yet to fully comprehend. Trump's stance on Ukraine mirrors his past foreign policy moves, such as his 2020 deal with the Taliban, which led to NATO's withdrawal from Afghanistan. If he continues this approach, it could weaken NATO and undermine the alliance's stability. His "America First" policies suggest that if re-elected, he may drastically reduce US involvement in European security, forcing NATO allies to take on a greater burden. The prospect of a second Trump presidency raises key questions. Will the US withdraw support from NATO altogether? Will Trump strike a deal with Putin at the expense of Ukraine's sovereignty? And if so, how will Europe respond? These uncertainties make it crucial for European nations to prepare contingency plans. The world has seen the consequences of shifting US foreign policy before. From Afghanistan to Syria, allies have been left scrambling when American priorities changed overnight. Will Ukraine suffer the same fate? NATO's future is uncertain if the US withdraws its security guarantees. Europe and Canada must prepare to defend themselves by boosting their defense budgets, modernizing military capabilities, and forming new alliances. The idea of a European army remains unrealistic, but a coalition of willing nations, like the Joint Expeditionary Force, could be a viable alternative. Some experts argue that NATO must evolve to survive. This could mean expanding its partnerships beyond Europe, increasing cybersecurity measures, and investing in new military technologies. Others believe that a shift away from US leadership could strengthen NATO by forcing European countries to take more responsibility for their own security. Additionally, NATO's expansion into Finland and Sweden has significantly altered the strategic map. Russia now faces a strengthened northern flank, which could deter future aggression. However, the Kremlin views NATO expansion as a direct threat, potentially escalating tensions even further. With these new dynamics, NATO is at a crossroads. Will it fracture under the weight of internal disputes? Or will it emerge stronger, adapting to the new global landscape? Ukraine's future security depends on defeating Russia militarily. Any peacekeeping force will only work if Russia acknowledges its defeat, which is unlikely without significant resistance. Europe must develop its own defense capabilities and reduce dependence on the US to achieve this. A multi-pronged strategy is required. Military support, continued arms shipments, intelligence sharing, and training for Ukrainian forces. Economic pressure. Stronger sanctions against Russia, targeting its financial and energy sectors. Strategic alliances. Strengthening ties with democratic nations worldwide to counterbalance Russia and China's influence. Public awareness. Educating citizens about the importance of supporting Ukraine and the long-term risks of appeasement. If Ukraine is abandoned, it could embolden other authoritarian regimes worldwide, setting a dangerous precedent. The lessons of history are clear. Appeasement does not work, and unchecked aggression only leads to greater conflict. But what if Ukraine wins? What if, against all odds, it pushes Russia back and reclaims its territories? That victory would not just belong to Ukraine. It would be a triumph for democratic nations worldwide, proving that resilience and unity can stand against tyranny. The geopolitical landscape has shifted. The era of US-led security in Europe is fading, and European nations must take control of their own defense strategies. Whether through NATO or new coalitions, decisive action is needed to ensure long-term stability and security. What happens next will shape the future of global security for decades to come. The world is at a crossroads. Will democracies unite against authoritarian threats, or will division and hesitation lead to a darker future? One thing is certain: the decisions made today will define the world of tomorrow. And so, we watch. We wait. We prepare. Because history is being written at this very moment, and the choices made today will echo for generations to come. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on global history and leadership. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.